Good morning and welcome to Rise and 9. It is Wednesday and it's foggy out there.
Yeah, so foggy and dangerous too because it's hard to see the road, but the road is also slick because temperatures are cold enough that fog is freezing on the road.
I know, so a couple different issues that are causing a lot of school delays this morning, a couple dozen, more than that even.
Around 30 last check, I'm sure. Not good situation for the buses to be out. Even when I drove in this morning, when we get in really early this morning, I had to have the windshield wipers going because that fog had so much moisture in it, it was even piling up on the windshield.
Yeah, and I know we talked about yesterday about how we've been seeing more deer out just this week. I actually had one cross right in front of my car on the way into work this morning, and it's so foggy that you can't see, a deer, had it been a person crossing at kind of the last second there, can make it really dangerous.
Yeah, I turn out onto an intersection normally, you can go right on red after you stop. I'm like, I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to wait till the light turns green because I just cannot see far enough to see if there's lights because I don't know the distance, but it was probably less than a half mile, maybe a quarter mile. It's just kind of eerie. You're like, almost feels like my eyes are open, right? Because I just can't see anything.
Am I still sleeping? Right? I know, even our city cams this morning, I put a screenshot on my Facebook page because it was crazy. All the different cities that were impacted by this fog and still are yet this morning, looking at downtown Cedar Rapids, and you can hardly even see the Alliant Tower, those big buildings, just hard to even see.
Right, and just a dangerous situation, one that we fortunately don't see that often. I mean, it's happened maybe a couple times, but I don't think it's common at all to have that freezing fog on the roads too.
Yeah, and even though I know we've been talking about how nice the temperatures are going to be later today, and you think about that, but it is still cold this morning.
Right.
Cold enough that it is making those roads pretty slick.
Right, and it's still dark outside. Sunrise isn't for a few more minutes, so that even makes things difficult. Just means it's colder out there for longer too.
Yeah, when I first woke up this morning, I just looked out my window and noticed the fog and thought, I'm going to need to try to leave a little earlier today just so that I can drive a little slower because it's just really hard to see.
Yeah, oddly makes it brighter, because you have that water reflecting more, but not easier to see.
Yeah, it's so hard to see. I couldn't even see the main road that's out about maybe a block from our house. I couldn't even see that road from my window.
Yeah, and we were fortunate that it wasn't freezing on the roads and we came in, but that did change throughout the morning.
Yeah, those cold temperatures. So it will get better. The fog is going to lift eventually later this morning, early afternoon. It's going to warm up and be nicer, but really need to drive with caution this morning.
Right, this afternoon will be close to in the 50s. Yesterday, when I was driving home, I saw somebody driving their motorcycle. Actually, it might have been Monday. Because yesterday was kind of drizzly, and I was thinking what I did. Yeah, I think it was Monday. It's just strange to see January 5th someone on their motorcycle in just a sweatshirt.
I know. We've had some nice temperatures at least. I know yesterday I was super hopeful because the temperatures were supposed to be pretty decent, for January, around 40. But because of that drizzle, I guess you would call it, it was just really not that nice out in the afternoon.
It was not. I took Walt out for a walk for just half an hour. He loved it. He was fine. He has a thick coat. He did walk up to someone who was leaving their house to get to their car parked on the street, and he was wagging his tail, wanted to say hello, and you could tell the person wanted to pet it. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, he's kind of wet and dirty. And they're like, it's okay, I work at the landfill. So I thought that was funny that Walt was happy to say hello to someone.
Yeah, not too cold for Walt, but I just went on a short little run yesterday, and I really didn't enjoy the weather at all. I'm doing this because I have to, not because I want to right now. But, good to get it in, and hopefully this afternoon will be much nicer than yesterday.
Yeah, could be a lot colder, we know that. But that doesn't mean just because it's warmer there aren't hazardous conditions, obviously, as we're seeing right now.
Yeah, need to be very careful this morning.
Yeah, and you can, of course, download our TV9 News app if you want to stay up to date on alerts for your child's school. Even if you don't have a kid that goes to school, I think it's nice to know, if that school district does cancel, you're like, well, this is a sign that maybe things aren't so good too.
Yeah, and different organizations will post too, and churches. So it's just a really great way to stay on top of, any delays or closures that happen throughout these winter months.
Yeah, in addition to breaking news like we saw last week, 1 week ago today.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, many of you probably remember the situation on 380 near Tower Terrace Road in the Hiawatha area. A number of police vehicles were out there, and it took us some time to try to figure out exactly what was going on.
Yeah, scary situation for people driving on I-380. Police say that a man is accused of stealing a carjacking from Cedar Falls at a Marine recruitment office, getting into Lynn County, being spotted in Center Point. crashing near Tower Terrace and then getting a shootout with deputies along in the grass off the interstate.
Yeah, this person's been identified as Samuel Reese III. He is facing 13 felony charges, including attempted murder of a peace officer. He is expected in court today. So this is something that we'll, of course, be covering, a major situation that happened here.
Right, and the reason why it is a week later, normally that happens a bit sooner, he was in the hospital because he was shot by police.
Yes, but no officers were injured in that incident. Of course, very scary though, as police say he was firing out his window while driving.
Yeah.
And you think about how busy I-380 is. So yeah, just very thankful that no one was injured. I mean, except for him, who is now out of the hospital and will be in court.
Right, something we'll be monitoring.
Yes. Also happening, another story that we've been on top of is Cedar Rapids schools and changes coming to the district.
Yeah, a lot of changes as they're having to cut between $10 and $1 million from its budget. This first phase of cuts, they're hoping to cut $4 million. It includes closing up to 7 elementary schools.
Yeah, and this also includes transitioning 3 of the 6 middle schools into intermediate schools, and those schools would house 5th and 6th graders, which would completely change the format that schools are right now, where elementary school goes through the 5th grade and then middle school is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So it'd pull 5th and 6th into those intermediate buildings, and then there would be just 3 middle schools serving 7th and 8th graders.
Yeah, a different model of where students feed into other ones. And the district said they're having to do this, of course, because dropping enrollment, and they're meeting Monday night. They shared some of that data that showed where enrollment peaked in the 2017 to 18 school year, but from there enrollment dropped, and when that happens, revenue also declines.
Yeah, and the district leader said that they had been using other funds to try to supplement the losses that have been going on, but that it's not sustainable anymore, which is where they are now, trying to figure out how they're going to address this. And there is a survey that's open just through today, is the last day. So if you want to have your opinions heard, you can find the link to that on our website or our app.
And the cuts also include, the biggest one is the school consolidation and shuffling around. Also includes cutting some Grantwood AEA contracts, travel, and food-related costs.
Yeah, and so this would be some major changes coming to Cedar Rapids schools. This, of course, just the first phase, as they are saying that they need to cut between $10 and $12 million from their budget. So we'll continue to follow this. We are expected to hear an update on Monday in terms of which schools could close.
Yeah, the board president said that they would share that before that next Monday school board meeting, but then there is a vote January 19th on actually implementing any changes. Of course, right now it's still in the discussion phase, trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, so we will be on top of that story, as well as the 380 suspect that will be in court today. And then, of course, staying on top of this weather as well. Right. It's a busy day in the newsroom.
I know. This week I had planned out to wear this dress because it was going to be nearly 50. I'm like, it'll be springtime. I got to wear my new dress, which I'm so excited because it has pockets.
I think so cute.
Only a handful of all the dresses I have actually have pockets.
Yeah, most of them don't. They should make more dresses with pockets. We need that. I wore a sweater dress and boots today, even though it is supposed to be those warmer temperatures, because I'm supposed to go out on a couple of different shoots for a story that I'm working on, and I just thought, if I'm walking around outside, it might be easier for me today. However, I really like your dress. It's very cute.
Thank you. It's probably a good idea to wear boots too, because the roads are slick, the sidewalks can be too, and it hurts so bad to fall down in the winter.
I know. It's just easier than, walking around in heels outside. So yes, I think it was a good decision, even though today is the day that's supposed to be the warmest of the week.
Right, and it is only January, like we said. I know it feels like spring, but we got a lot of winter to go.
We do, yeah, and we could even see some more snow later this week. So yeah, you'll want to stay on top of that with our KCRG weather app, and then of course with our weather team on air. Yeah,
and those kids at lots of schools maybe sleeping in a little bit this morning is, it is a tough week to get back in the swing of things after having a couple weeks off for the holidays.
I know. You got the 2 weeks most people got for the holidays, and then get to sleep in on a Wednesday. That's not so bad.
Just got Thursday, Friday to go, and it's the weekend again. Yeah, that is a lot of days to be back, though, to go from not any school at all to a full week.
I know. It always feels like that with work, too. If you have a solid chunk of time off, and then you come back to a first 5 days week. They fly normally, but coming off a vacation, that can feel kind of long.
Then anytime that alarm goes off, whether it is early in the morning like us or a more regular time, it's still tough to wake up to it.
Yeah, so hopefully people are enjoying a little bit of a slower morning today if you are one of the schools that has a delay. Get to just enjoy a little time at home.
Right, those snowplows out there too, not sleeping in. They're out there working hard too. At last check, I think this is around an hour ago, there was about 150 out because those clearing off those slick spots on the road.
Yeah, thank you to all the plow drivers. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's just DOT plows, not even including city and county crews out working hard too.
Yeah, lots of people. Work still goes on in these types of conditions. So, yes, we very much appreciate all of that.
Yeah, we'll hope you stay safe on the roads today.
Have a great day.